Well, good evening, one and all. Welcome to Red Barn Radio. This evening, we continue forward in our 22nd year of broadcasting. My name is Bradford Becker. I'm your host, and we welcome you to show number 861. Will Overman, a great singer-songwriter from Virginia, is back to play the Red Barn stage after a couple years have passed. Will works hard and takes the business of music very seriously. This is a guy who is always thinking about maintaining balance in his life and has some thoughtful things to say about what he's done to enhance his quality of life in this challenging field that he and so many of you listeners have chosen for yourselves. We welcome you to an evening of music and conversation with Will Overman.
I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to go. Roll me down easy, don't matter which highway. I need some windshield time with those giant primes. It's a win and join Sam Stone. I've never been one to pray, at least not the way they do back home. Some bend their knees, I grab my keys and let the road baptize my soul. Give me that dotted line, ride the clutch, I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to go. Roll me down easy, things didn't go my way, but I got a clear rear view to me and you, and all that I would change. I'm taking things day by day, some are different, some the same. Instead of running from, I'm running to, taking pain in my own pace. Give me that dotted line, ride the clutch, I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to roll. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to go. Give me that dotted line, ride the clutch, I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to roll. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to go.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Okay.
Let's find that guitar.
Yeah, okay.
You got it now?
He's picking that back up. You want to go back to the original guitar?
Whatever, yeah.
Yep.
Let me see why I don't have anything.
What channel should that guitar be in again? I think it should be in. Yeah, I think I found the problem here.
All right.
It shouldn't change anything on our end.
Yeah, I know. Just
Yeah. All right, I think we should be good then. That should be the right channel order.
All right. Do you want to
could I hear the other guitar for just 1 minute?
the acoustic? Okay. Could we just start with that first number again?
Why don't you do a very short intro and we'll just begin again.
All right. Great.
That's my apologies.
Brad, the only difference is after that number, go directly into your second opening.
Okay.
Thank you. Get that?
I got it.
Okay. Anytime you feel like it,
I feel it. I can feel it. Okay, so I just go ahead and start? All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, one and all. Welcome to Red Barn Radio. I'm host Bradford Becker. This evening, we continue forward in our 22nd year of broadcasting, and we welcome you to show number 861. Again. Will Overman, a great singer-songwriter from Virginia, is back to play the Red Barn stage after a couple of years have passed. Will works hard and takes the business of music very seriously. This is a guy who is always thinking about maintaining balance in his life and has some thoughtful things to say about what he's done to enhance his quality of life in this very challenging field that he and so many of you listeners have chosen for yourself. We welcome you to an evening of music and conversation with Will Overman.
Give me that dotted line, ride the clutch, I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to go. Roll me down easy, don't matter which highway. I need some windshield time with those giant pines. It's a winter joint sandstone. I've never been one to pray. At least not the way they do back home. Some bend their knees, I grab my keys and let the road baptize my soul. Give me that daddy line, riding the clutch, I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that daddy line, I'm ready to go. Roll me down easy, things didn't go my way, but I got a clear rear view to me and you. Know that I would change, I'm taking things day by day. Some are different, some the same. Instead of running from, I'm a running to, taking pain in my own pace. Give me that dotted line, riding the clutch, I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to roll. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to go. Give me that dotted line, riding the clutch, I'm ready to roll. Shifting down, I'm moving out past everything's kept me slow. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to roll. Give me that dotted line, I'm ready to go.
Will Overman is our guest tonight on Red Barn Radio. Since we last saw Will, he's released a live EP and also a new single called Virginia is for Lovers, has something else forthcoming. We are so glad to have Will back with us. He's here with a great band featuring Ryan Lee on bass, Curry Winborn on keys, and Evan Hunsberger on drums. Welcome to an evening of music and conversation with Will Overman and his band.
It's great to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me. This next song is off my first record called The Winemaker's Daughter, and this one's called Little Things. Give it one more scoop, that's gonna get me through. And coffee time in the morning light, the best part of waking is you. She's simple like that, she's simple like that. I dark between her blanket and knees, he's always liked you more than me. He must see what I see, and I see you, and I see me underneath the white oak tree. And I'll make time when you need mine, of all you do and say. Babe, it's the little things. Yeah. I can give you romance, but darling, I don't dance. The way you move is gabardine smooth, and I'm a goodwill pair of sweatpants. When we're done with the chores, we'll have a beer on the porch. We'll start each day and end it the same, with each other and nothing more. Is there anything more? Woo! And I see you, and I see me thought I'd be the guy who liked to live alone. On the road, at the bar, just a rolling stone. I've loved others and I'm grateful for the love they've shown. They're the names of the streets I took when I went home. Now I'm writing at the table that we eat upon. Little phrases about the ways that you turn me on. Seeing now by learning how to finally focus on little things like making coffee when the morning comes. And I see you, and I see me underneath the white oak tree. And I make time when you need mine. All you do is say, baby, it's the little things. Yeah. She takes it black. She's simple like that. Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much. This next song is it's called Miss California. If you listen to it on the record, it sounds nothing like this. It's very slow and very sad and very somber. But we decided let's take a sad song and give it some drive to it. So here's our live version of this song. It's called Miss California. You were sitting on Lincoln, I was sitting on Main. Story of my life, running 5 minutes late. LA traffic's no excuse, but it's hard to take. And you were halfway through a glass of Chardonnay. I said, I'm sorry. Well, that's okay. I got an appetizer coming. Won't you tell me about your day? That's when I saw it, the rapture in your eyes. Sat down just long enough for me to realize the sky was falling and I was calling you darling. Stars are colliding, I say they're aligning. I was meant to die in your arms. Venice Beach, October, never thought I'd be over in California again. Miss California, here I am. And I was thinking about the early days before you were sick and everything was more. Look at this and let's do that. The Golden State was smiling back. Jiffy Pipe and PBR on the PCH. Love is simple when you're underage. The sky was falling and I was calling you darling. Stars are colliding, I say they're aligning. I was meant to die in your arms. Venice Beach, October, never thought I'd be over in California again. Miss California, here I am. City of angels, city of devils. I went through hell and paradise. Darling, I would do it all over if it gets you here alive. So let's drink to this, Miss California. You're alright. One, two. on, Kurt. Thank you, guys.
Yo, Will, you're cool, man. Hey, thanks, buddy. Yeah, sweet. Cool.
I'm not sure if my folks are watching right now or my sister, but if they are, I love you dearly. I miss you very much. Next song is called Crossroads, and I wrote this one right when I graduated college. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, hence I was at a crossroads. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep playing music, but here I am, over a decade later. I'm still playing music, and I'm very glad I decided to stay down that path. Of the city to a farm outside of town, and at night I can't hear a sound. It's just me and my woman. She grows tomatoes in our front yard. I love my roots, they're strong and hard. For the past few years, I've been stuck inside my head. The few hours that I got became the only thing we did, and I bet I let my years grow shorter and my hair grow long. But when the days outlast the years, boy, you know you're doing something wrong. I'm at a crossroads. Supposed to know where to go. I'm at a crossroads. The road ahead is long, and there ain't no sense in beating the light at the crossroads of your life. No. before I turned 21, but a kid can't outrun time. And my life was a river, and my success was measured in heights. My aspirations for myself were the watermark left by the blood of 99. I'm at a crossroads. I'm not supposed to know where to go. I'm at a crossroads. The road ahead is long and there ain't no sense in beating the light at the crossroads of your life, no. I moved out of the city to a farm outside of town, and at night I can't hear a sound. It's just me and my woman. She grows tomatoes in our front yard. I love my roots, they're strong and hard. But I made mistakes and I pumped the brakes, and I learned a few things, like how a woman's love can bring you back to earth. Well, that remains unseen. I'm at a crossroads. I'm not supposed to know where to go. I'm at a crossroads. The road ahead is long and there ain't no sense in beating the light at the crossroads of your life, no. To everybody at home, that is Curry Winborn from the great state of Washington on the keys over here. In front of a live audience in Nashville the other night, I said that Curry was from Oregon, and he wasn't happy about it. But tonight, it's Washington, baby. It's Washington. Man, Red Barn, thank you guys so much for having us. It's great to be here. Bunch of these songs are going to be part of an upcoming record, including this one. The song is called Bowery. East side on a Friday night, the Bowery should head just right. Only a few pre-sales, but that's okay. I've heard good things come to those who wait. New York is always the same. Nothing like losing half of what you made. On the driving and the loading's insane, but there's something justifying when you see your name. Now there's a tick-tock kid sold out the room beneath me. And I'm 10 years in, wondering if anyone believes me. There ain't nothing in this life I expect to get for free. But I thought by now I'd be running on more than a dream. Yeah! Something to see, I got a lot to prove, but it's hard to do when you feel like you're playing to an empty room. Never know who might show up. A suit and tie to change all your love, but I'm pretty sure the guy talking loud and slow ain't gonna get my song on the radio. Now there's a tick-tock kid sold out the room beneath me. And I'm 10 years in, wondering if anyone believes me. There ain't nothing in this life I expect to get for free. But I thought by now I'd be running on more than a dream. Yeah, we're running, 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 oh, 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 oh. Yeah, we're running, 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 and we can't let them go. Can't let them go. Now there's a tick-tock kid sold out the room beneath me. And I'm 10 years in, wondering if anyone believes me. Ain't nothing in this life I expect to get for free. But I thought by now I'd be running on more than a dream.
Nice job.
Thank you, Brad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of energy up there.
Rock and roll.
Well, we had a little build up before the program, so it's great. You guys are fired up there. You got to. So hey, you were talking earlier, Will, about before you sang the song Crossroads. You were talking about a crossroads for you, which is when you were getting out of college and weren't sure what you were going to do. What would have been your alternative path had you not selected music? What would have been the other choice?
I don't think I really was preparing to take one at that point. I've never been like a really big Plan B guy, but if I always joke, like if I wasn't doing music like the way I wanted to, as in playing my own stuff and touring like I am, I'd probably want to go to like forestry school and be a park ranger.
It's no surprise.
If I'm not on the road, I'd like to be in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you do both.
I do.
Yeah, I mean
when I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds like your work in music, which is a stressful field, relies a lot on the sort of peace you get from being outdoors and doing things outdoors.
It does, yeah. I think COVID was kind of the great like equalizer in my life. I think I had just kind of used touring as an excuse to not like focus on myself and some parts of myself that I'd always like stayed in front of, and then COVID hit, and for almost 2 years I was like sitting still and had to just work on my mental health. And that's carried over, and I think it's kind of one of the blessings of that time for me is that I've learned to take time off from making music and being a business owner and all the things that you could do this living and never actually stop doing it ever, because I am my own boss.
Yeah, right.
So I'm learning to take a step back and go fly fishing or go hiking or something, and it definitely helps.
So prior to COVID, you didn't do that?
I mean, a little bit,
Really
but yeah, I
manic?
think I just was, I was 26 around then, or 20, barely 27, and I think I was just like ready to go the entire time, and I think looking at the entire dream of music in a different, less sustainable way that I am now. Like I think I was looking at it with the mindset of like I'm going to outwork everybody. And I still look at it that way, because I think that, my output is the only thing I can control. But I think back then it was like, if I don't make it by 30, then I'm not doing it the way I wanted to. And now I'm 30, and I'm like, I've reevaluated everything. And instead of going, I'm not playing arenas, I'm playing with 4 of my friends on stage on a fantastic radio show in Lexington, Kentucky. And that's a beautiful thing. So it's kind of a recalibration for me.
And so have you abandoned the idea that you could develop this into a national act, or that you could?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I think more so I'm just looking at being happy and satisfied along the way. But no, I think the goalposts, if anything, have moved even farther. But I've just done this long enough now to know that like, touring especially is such a grind, and it can be so uncomfortable and so hard on your mind, your spirit, and your body that I think I've come to this point where I'm like, if I'm not going to have fun doing it, then what's the point? Like, I'm playing rock and roll with my buddies. It's supposed to be a good time.
Okay, yeah, right. So when would be some times when touring when you would have to try to have a good time and try to channel a positive outlook? When you show up at a venue and instead of 150 people, there are 15. Is that an example
well,
of?
Brad, that happens more than I would like to admit. But I think, it's those dates where you're like a week and a half into a run, and you can't help but have this nagging thing in the back of your head, and it's like, what are we doing? The numbers don't make sense on this. We've played to 6 people the past 2 nights. I know there's no guarantee tonight, and we're in the middle of North Carolina, and I've never been to this place in my life. So those ones certainly are very difficult to work through. It depends, though. I think some of my favorite shows are the ones where there are 6 people and they're locked in, versus I've played rooms with 10, 20 times that, and no one's paying attention, and those are taxing in a whole different way.
So when 6 people are really locked in, does that mean they came up after the stage, after the program, got up to you and said, "Hey, man, that was terrific. I really enjoyed that"? Do they also buy 2 or 3 shirts and get them out to their friends? Do they buy your stuff? Because ultimately, a handshake and a hug is great, but
Yeah, it's the personal anecdotes that go a long ways for me. If someone comes up and buys a T-shirt and says, you know, man, I've followed your music for years and it really means a lot to me, that goes leaps and bounds. So yeah, I always tell people, whether they're reaching out on Instagram or they're reaching out at the merch booth at a show, like when people tell me that their life has been impacted by my music, or they listen to my music to do X, Y, Z, that really carries me.
And is that something you hear? Is that something you hear primarily in the states where you've resided, and you've had an opportunity to sort of build up a fan base? Do you have that happen sometimes, like when you're in North Carolina or in Lincoln, Nebraska, or
I
the
think
state of Oregon,
it's
visiting your keyboardist?
Oregon's a great state that
family?
Curry's not from. Yeah. Yeah. I think that. Oh, that's nice without the ears in. It happens every now and then when we do farther runs, Minnesota, Wisconsin, whatever. We did Texas earlier this year. And there will be a surprising person who's like, I found you on Spotify and here's my music. And is stoked about it. Like the other night we played Nashville, and I had a family of 5 from Singapore come up to me.
Oh,
And I thought they were kidding.
Come on.
I thought they were joking. And they were wearing T-shirts, and they were like, we're from Singapore. And I was like, that's so cool. How'd you guys find me?
That is
And they were
great.
like, we're from Singapore. And I was like, oh, you're not kidding. They found me online. And they didn't just come to Nashville from Singapore to see me. Like, they were on a bigger trip. But it's
they
pretty
came.
remarkable. Yeah.
But they're from Singapore.
from
and
Singapore.
They came.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good.
It does. And I think it's so easy. I mean, I think all of us in this room right now, you and me included, like, have all of our qualms with the way the music is distributed these days, and there's so many downsides to it. But there is a silver lining in that people anywhere in the world can find your music, and that stuff does happen.
Yeah. I wonder if you wouldn't mind talking some about some of the things some of your outdoor interests. I want to circle around. Once you talk about that a little bit, I'd like for you to talk about sort of how those challenges and the challenges you have in music might be related, or how one prepares you for the other. I mean, you've done some pretty extraordinary things, like you did the Appalachian Trail, right? Do I remember that correctly? Like all of it?
All of it, yep.
Like, is that like 1,800 miles or something, or more than that, or?
It shifts like every year, but it's like 2,184 miles, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's like, no one's counting. Yeah, no one's counting.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a ton. So, so how long did it take you to do that? Did you do it in one, was it one trip, or did you do several installments of it over the course of many months? Or?
I did it in one straight shot. My dad and I had always planned to do it together after I finished high school, because hiking and backpacking, the outdoors has always kind of been my dad and I's bonding point. And upon graduation of high school, the plan was to take off in July up in Maine and hike down to Georgia. But as I got closer, my dad was like, I'm supporting a family. I can't take 6 months off of work. To which I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so he started with me. It was kind of my support team back at home. He and my mom both, they were drying food in the garage. They were sending me packages like 2 weeks in advance so I could hike into a town and resupply. If I had my shoes blow out of me, which happened like 5 times, they could kind of help me coordinate and figure out where to get new ones and stuff like that. So I hiked the whole thing, but I did go from Maine to Virginia. And then when I got to Virginia, my girlfriend at the time had just been on the trail and got off with me. My dad and mom, I had like visited them, and I was in all of these parts of Shenandoah National Park that I had been in as a child. So my brain was just having a really hard time like getting home and then saying, okay, you just have like 1,000 more miles to go away from home. So at that point, I kind of hit a low, and my buddy reached out and was like, dude, what if I drive you down to Georgia and you hike back home? So that's what I did. I hiked down to Shenandoah, drove down to Georgia, and I hiked back up to Shenandoah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, it was great. And I think there's 6 miles in Pennsylvania that I skipped one day because I was just too tired, and I hitchhiked into a town. So one day I'll like find those fateful 6 miles and complete them.
Well, Yeah, so yeah, I hadn't taken you for a cheater, but it's
Thank you. Thank you, Brad. It's all right.
Yeah,
It's okay, Brad. It's all right.
I thought you
It's all right.
actually did the whole thing, but
You wear your U of R
that's
shirt. I'm a UVA fan. I mean, it's just, God, jeez.
how about on the trail, some folks that you've met? You talked about slowing down your pace in music, in this field, and how transformative that's been for you to slow down a little bit. Do you learn some of that same lesson when you're doing a hike of that magnitude? And do you have old timers on the trail, old guys who say to you, "Hey, man, here's the trick"?
It's funny. I could talk on that for a long time. When I did it, I was 18.
Yeah.
And I was in great shape. I was a lacrosse player in high school, and I'm lucky to be built. My dad and I both like little trolls. We're just made to climb mountains. And so I was just in phenomenal shape, but I also had zero discipline. So every day I would wake up when I felt like waking up, which is insane because all the buddies that I met on the trail would wake up at like 6:30 and be on the trail by 7, so they could pace themselves and hike it, 2, maybe 2.5 miles an hour. I would wake up at like 8:30, 10, and basically sprint all day, and still do the same mileage, but go like 3+ miles an hour. And I could do it at the time. Now I would break myself. But it's funny you mentioned the pacing, because that was what I did as an 18-year-old, full of piss and vinegar. And then I had old timers, as old as like 80, 85, who I'd run into, and they would just wake up when the sun came up, and they would camp wherever they were when the sun went down. And they didn't care about how far they made it. They didn't care if it was 5 miles, 8 miles, 2 miles, whatever. They just didn't care. They just wanted to be in the woods, and I couldn't even comprehend that. I was like, that's great. I got to go. And then you had guys who were like 40 and were taking 5 months off from being with their family, and the precious level of their time compared to mine was so evident, because they were like, I have a family of 4 at home, and they've made it happen so that I could be out here. And I just graduated high school. So I've looked back on that as I've gotten older, and it definitely applies to music. I think that the trail, more and more so, I think about it all the time, and I've been trying to write a song about it and haven't gotten there yet. But the pacing is everything on the AT, and I think that's music too. Like, I think all of us on stage right now could name 20 people that we've seen sprint past us, and they're not making music anymore. But we're still here, and we're still doing the thing at a high level. So
Yeah. Tell folks about some other things you like to do outdoors other than hike. I mean,
I love to fly fish.
okay.
It also makes me want to commit murder. I started fly fishing over COVID, and my dad and I picked it up together, and I am obsessed with it, and I've spent too much money on it, and I think I had a friend the other day equate it to golf in the way that you love and hate it, and I think I've officially gotten to that point where I can have the best hour of my life on a river somewhere, and also the worst, and just want to snap my rod in half. And then I get off the river, and I look back, and I'm like, God, what a beautiful day I spent.
Yeah,
But
right.
it drives me insane, and I
Well,
love
I
it.
think fishing in general, not just fly fishing, but fishing in general is just like golf.
Yeah.
It's like that one hit you get on the line, just like that.
What'd you do
amazing
differently?
chip.
What'd you do
Just
differently,
like
Brad?
that
I don't
chip.
know. Why aren't they biting?
I don't know. I golf. I don't fish.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're
So
probably just as expensive, so.
maybe so. Hey, let's get back to some more music with Will Overman.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Speaking of traveling, song is called A Traveler's Promise. And I wrote this song when I was in Athens, Greece. I was doing some traveling and I was trying to get to the island of Crete. But there was a ferry workers strike. And I came to find out there's a strike like every other day in Athens, Greece. But I said to myself, I'm stuck in Athens. There are worse places to be, so I ate a bunch of meat on a stick, hung out, and I wrote this song. Surrender is a broken down bus with a driver who smokes and a toilet full of mud and trust riding on the night train. A bedroom full of strangers can drive you insane. Patience is a raincoat in Dublin. And best to pack and not need it, then get caught in the rain. Commitment is a traveler's train. Life for so little can be so much weight. But I wouldn't cross this world with no other girl. I hope you know these things I'm learning, I'm bringing back home. Loving is what we were doing. We drank Buckfast in Belfast and all the wine from Tuscany to Rome. Oh, and loving comes natural when you're sinning. So when you slow down and you dry out, when you find out how much it's gonna take. But faith was St. Vitus in Prague. But every ancient thing from pubs to kings, older than my country left me small. And I wouldn't cross this world with no other girl. Hope you know these things I'm learning, I'm bringing back home. continue. Thank y'all so much. Thank you guys. Oh, yeah. Taking it back to my last record, this song is called Something to Hold. She's the morning, she's the first light of day, shining through my window, just prying me awake. She's the t-shirt that is mine, my attention that is hers. When she's reaching for the covers, don't you confuse her for a girl, no, no. Oh, now she's a body that I hold when she's standing at the store. Her head and her shoulders, they frame my favorite window. She has a valley down her back, spinal rhythm, head of man, searching hard for something beautiful. Oh, she is a promised land. She give me something, she give me something I can hold on to. She gives me love, 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 like a summer afternoon. I give her something, I give her something she can hold on to. I give her love, I give her love, love, love. That's all she needs to make it through. Come on, Ryan. She's a dreamer, wide awake with hesitation, and college striving fit to be tied and out a liar in an aggregation. Now she's waiting tables at the Steak and Chicken. But if she could see what she means to me, then she'd have no reservation. She'd give me something, she'd give me something I can hold on to. She gives me love, 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 like a summer afternoon. I give her something, I give her something Thank you so much, guys. This next song is off the same record that one was off. And there's always one song out of like the batch that I write that I feel really strongly about, and this one I've always loved this one. Kind of wrote it as a tribute to anybody out there, any creative chasing that dream. It's called Living Wage. One, two, three. Waking up as she walked away, my promises lie without a plan. Left me with the dog and a cold cup of coffee made, and all day to think on ways I could be a better man. Christmas on credit, rent's a week late. Can't afford to buy beer, but I'm drinking champagne. It's time to shut up, time to show out. I got a real good heart and the know-how. Time to piece it all together and find out from what I made. Time to get up, time to get straight. Time to show that woman I mean what I say. Put a ring on her finger and I'm already halfway. If I can live on love, her smile would be my living wage. Give me a little courage. She's a song I hum when I'm afraid. The edgy end where Rocky gets beat. Gave me a heart, then she gave me a soul, and everything between. And asked for nothing, just said follow your dreams. She pays the bills, I take out the trash. It's not a bad trade, but it's where we're at. It's time to shut up, time to show out. I got a real good heart and the know-how. Time to piece it all together and find out from what I made. Time to get up, time to get straight. Time to show that woman I mean what I say. Put a ring on her finger and I'm already halfway. If I can live on love, her smile would be my living wage. Living on the road, my friend, to keep you free and clean. Sing Van Zandt with a needle in his vein. Gonna take my dreams in stride with the coming rain. I know what I'm working for is so much greater than anything I could ever sing. It's time I shut up, time I showed out. I got a real good heart and baby I'm trying to know how. It's time to get up, time to get straight. Time to show that woman I mean what I say. Put a ring on her finger and I'm already halfway. I put a ring on her finger and I'm already halfway. If I can live on love, her smile would be my living wage. I was like, man, my guitar really dropped out there big time.
Because you're supposed to plug it in.
Well, we've got lots more music and conversation and stage antics coming with Will Overman up in just a few minutes. I want to take a moment, though, to remind listeners that Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience, along with our live audio stream, compliments of WGAD.net, up there near Rochester, New York. Don't miss a single episode of our program, and be sure to tell your friends and share what it is that you like about Red Barn Radio. Our guest next week is the band called Bedford. Born, raised, and based in eastern Kentucky, Bedford is heading to the national music scene with something new in their pockets and something vintage in their souls. Bedford is a true powerhouse band. 4 dudes who know how to sing and play and take total command of the stage. As they like to say, Bedford is the band that the world never knew it needed but knows it wants. Bedford released their first album, Content, in 2018, followed in 2019 with their second record, A Trip into the Sun. They've since put out at least a couple of live recordings, both of which I've listened to this past week, and they capture all the magic that I know you're going to love. That's Bedford next week in studio and on Red Barn Radio's live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. Red Barn Radio, listen to the live. Back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting here from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the horse capital of the world, Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back, Will Overman.
Trying to find time to kill, trying to fill up these days. Been talking to my therapist, and this guy doesn't mess around. He said you can't go back, but you can always come back home. And I drove out to the west side, I forgot why I came. Got lost in a cul-de-sac with the last words on my brain. Said you can't go back, but you can always come back home. And I might head to West Virginia, hold up in the middle of the winter. Maybe go feel small somewhere upstate. And in her arms, my sanctuary. Now it's church starts in January. If I can't go back, I'm taking the long way home. There goes a lazy daisy, where I told you that I loved you. And it's a shame we like to travel, 'cause then no matter how far I drive, oh, you can't go back, but you can always come back home. I might head to West Virginia, hold up in the middle of the winter. Maybe go feel small somewhere upstate. And in her arms, my sanctuary. Now it's truck stops in January. If I can't go back, I'm taking the long way home. There's just one star and a million bars, and no reason to call her. I don't know who you are. We're two worlds apart. Man, it's really snowing. I might head to West Virginia, hold up in the middle of the winter. Maybe go feel small somewhere upstate. And in her arms, my sanctuary. Now it's truck stops in January. If I can't go back, I'm taking the long way home. Might head to West Virginia, hold up in the middle of the winter. Maybe go feel small somewhere upstate. And in her arms, my sanctuary. Now it's truck stops in January. And if I can't go back, I'm taking the long way home. Back home, All right. I did write that. Gary, I did write that song. Yeah. The song's called Somewhere Upstate. It's a new one. Very excited about. We're going to try another new one for you guys. And band, whenever you guys are ready, do your thing. The song comes out next month, July 12th. It's called Names. You can pre-save it now, so if you're listening and you like what you hear, go pre-save it. Which you can do at my website. I don't wanna talk, I just wanna feel you. And you don't wanna know, and I don't wanna tell you. We could leave our bags by the door. Lord knows that we have some and more. You could be my disaster, and I could be all down in flames. We might regret this after. Better I'll take the whole cake. Tell me that it's real, even if it just makes us a little bit more depressed. Who's the stranger's head on my chest? You could be my disaster, and I could be your down in flames. We might regret this after. Better than we don't know each other. I don't wanna talk, I just wanna feel you. You could be my disaster, and I could be your down in flames. We might regret this after. It's better that we don't know each other's biggest mistakes and the pills that we take. You wash it all down with your blackout parades. I'm too broke for therapy, I'm too broken to change. It's better that we don't know each other's names. Na 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 na. Know each other's names. Na 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 na. Know each other's names. Na 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 na. Know each other's names. Na 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 na. Know each other's names. Thank you guys very much. Brand spanking new. I'm gonna kick the guys off stage real quickly here. Do a little solo number. Yes, sir.
More numbers you can cut.
What's that?
Is there one of the last 3 or 4 you can cut?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which one?
Let's cut Stranger.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
No problem.
All right. We'll go to interview after this tune.
Perfect. No problem. 1 second. Thank you to everybody who's listening, who's not in the room, which is hopefully most of you. Because there's like 8 of us in the room, so. There are 9, yeah. Hopefully there's 10 listening. No, I'm kidding. If you just tuned in, my name is Will Overman, and this next song, like a lot of these, are new, and they're coming out on a record next year, if all goes to plan. My manager's over there being like, yeah, we haven't decided on that yet, but this song is kind of it's become a mantra for me. It's one of my favorite songs I've written. And I wrote it over a year ago now at this point, but not all that long ago I was living in Virginia Beach, where I was raised, and I was living in my dad's house. I was 29 years old, and I had just gone through a divorce. My dad was kind enough to invite me to come live with him while I got my stuff together. I got to eat free suppers for about a year, which was really nice because food is expensive. And it was a weird time because all my friends were getting married and buying houses and getting dogs and talking about having kids and all this stuff. And I was sleeping on an air mattress at my dad's house, and touring. And I often was thinking to myself, what am I doing with my life? What's happening? And as weird and as strange as it was, I came through that time, and here I am now, and I'm much better for it. And I have nothing but gratitude for that year and for my dad through that time. I don't know at 30 years old if I'll ever get to spend an entire year living with my dad again. And it was a beautiful thing. So if you're going through a hard time or anything like that, I send the song out to you, and I do this every time I play it. I also send it out to my dad, wherever he is tonight. He's somewhere in Virginia, and the song goes out to him. It's called The Bottom. And all my friends are on the rise. I can't say the same for me. And Garrett made partner down at the firm, and Stefan's making bank in Tennessee. Yeah, Stefan's making bank in Tennessee. When the boys come to town, we grab a pint, and they joke how I'm living in reverse. They're drinking too many and I'm drinking too much, but in the morning their wallets don't hurt. But now I'm driving and I'm wondering where I went wrong. When I was a younger man, I thought I was the chosen one. But now I'm just another son, asking my dad, when does a man know he's done? I've lost so much, gave up on my wife, I've questioned my life, shot up on myself and got high on my pride. And I've climbed and I've climbed only to find the bottom. Now I'm sitting on the bottom. And hometown shows are different now, 'cause home's not where I want to be. It's getting harder to measure the progress I make, but what matters is it makes sense to me. Does this make sense to me? Well, I'll keep on driving to meet the man I've become. But the passenger seat is empty, and what's freedom worth all alone? Now I'm just another son, asking my dad, when does a man know he's done? I've lost so much, gave up on my wife, I've questioned my life, shot up on myself and got high on my pride. And I've climbed only to find the bottom. Now I'm sitting on the bottom. I'm sitting on the bottom. Thank you.
All right. Wow, Will, that's a powerful song.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah. Love hearing about your relationship with your dad and the things that you guys have done together. Was your dad also a musical mentor for you in some way?
Yeah, I got to give credit to both my parents on that one. I grew up in just a very, I wouldn't even say musical household, but a very music-loving household. So there's a better way to say that somewhere, but my folks just loved music. and they've instilled that in both my sister and I, and yeah, I think it started at an early age. I always like tell the story, and I think my parents always like shake their heads, but they followed the Dead around when they were much younger, and so one of my first like musical grasping points was the Grateful Dead, which is funny because I'm not a Jam fan, but I love the Grateful Dead, so it's very hypocritical. But from the Grateful Dead up through classic rock and the Beatles, my parents kind of started me off on that stuff, and then I found my way from bluegrass, very traditional Bill Monroe style bluegrass, to mountain music, then to the Avett Brothers, and the Avett Brothers kind of exploded my musical world.
Okay, so did you come to bluegrass through sort of the Grisman, Garcia, Peter
yeah.
Rowan?
Yeah, I mean Pizza
Golden
Tapes
in the Way.
And Shady Grove, and yeah,
Yeah.
that was on heavy rotation.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So did you ever play bluegrass music?
I did a little bit, yeah. So I started out like most kids. I started out on piano when I was like 8, and I was just ungrateful and hated practicing. And I wish to God I had had the foresight to keep playing, because I'd probably be a decent piano player now. But I switched from that to cello, oddly enough, and I played cello for about 10 years. And then I picked up the mandolin, hence the bluegrass. And I wanted to write songs, and it's very hard to do that on a mandolin because it's such a lead instrument. So I switched to guitar when I was like 17, and here I am.
So it seems to me that I heard some live recording of you off live from Virginia. You
Yes.
you had a mandolin player.
Yes, that
that-
was
a
Andy
friend?
Thacker. He's
Huh.
in Love Cannon, if anybody knows that band. They're like a super group out of Virginia who do a lot of 80s covers, and he's a fantastic mandolin player.
All right. And is that an instrument you'd like to bring back? Would you into your music? Would you like to bring some, like in your upcoming recordings? Do you imagine mandolin, fiddle, banjo, other instruments that I know Avett Brothers certainly have?
It's funny.
Played
When I
with
was
the more
younger,
banjo.
I was playing music much more of that style of the Avetts, just kind of hard charging, 4 on the floor, more folk informed music. But now my stage and studio sound is kind of shifting towards more of a rock presence. There's a little bit of there's more grooviness to my music these days. So I probably won't add mandolin anytime soon. But banjo makes a fair amount of my stuff, and pedal steel all the time. So I've kind of gone in the more traditional country instrumentation meets rock and roll versus going, straight towards bluegrass.
Yeah. So vocals play large in your music. I mean, you have two guys on stage with you, both of whom can do a great harmony. Where does the vocal elements that sort of come from country music that you like?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm definitely a singer first before a guitar player. I think when I listen to music, I'm drawn to the vocals first and foremost. So therefore, I want to create music that prioritizes the vocals as well. And I'm very lucky to have 2 guys on stage with me that are professional vocalists and can sing harmony with me. So
Yeah. Do you arrange the vocals?
we kind of all do.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed effort.
Yeah, I think Ryan's got the best theoretical background of at least the 3 of us, and I can find a harmony, but I can't put a title on it to save my life. So maybe I'll find it, and he'll be like, "This is what you're doing," or we'll be searching for it and be like, "Here's where we're gonna go," and find the note. So
You guys
it's a
help
group
each other
effort.
out.
We do.
Yeah. Nice. Well, the vocals sound great, and
Thank you.
it's on your recordings and live. Love the vocal parts and
Well,
and all your
kudos to
songs.
these guys. They bring it every night.
Well, yeah, all of you are doing a great job. When you eventually moved to Nashville, and I don't know exactly the timeline of this, but you decided to go to Nashville at some point. You're not there anymore.
No, I live there now.
Oh, that's
Yep.
home. Okay, good.
Mhm.
So I guess I would imagine that a guy like you would go to Nashville for the same reason that jazz players would move to New York, serious jazz players who want to make a go of it, and they
Are you
want to
saying
be in.
I'm not a serious jazz player? Because that's definitely what I'm trying to do.
I
Brad.
do not hear that.
Is this not jazz?
So, So is that when you decided to go to Nashville? Is it A, primarily to make all the connections, B, to find more varieties of work, or C, to be with players who were a lot better than you?
I think D, all the above.
Yeah.
I moved there in 2021 for the first time, and I was there for about a year roughly, and then had some personal stuff going in my life. Moved back home to Virginia. And
Yeah.
I spent that time living at my dad's.
Okay.
And
Yeah, your dad.
debating living in Virginia and staying there because I love Virginia, it's my home, or going back to Nashville, and ultimately I decided that it was the best call for me to move to Nashville, for all those reasons. I am a singer-songwriter, so I need a co-writing ecosystem to do what I do, and that exists in Nashville. I think in a way that it doesn't exist maybe anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, right.
It's
I think
just
you're right.
there's just like a common language, and co-writing is a thing that people are good at, and everywhere else I've tried to do it, it's kind of the outlier of what you do. Not to say that it doesn't go on in other ecosystems in the country, but in Nashville, it's there. And I also I'm always striving to get better, and I've always strived to surround myself with musicians that are more capable than I am. I mean, all these guys on the stage are an example of that, and Nashville's a whole city of that. So it's just made me better by being there, and it's also super inspiring. It's the more I'm there, the more supported I feel, which is the opposite of what I ever would have felt, or ever would have thought I would have felt, rather.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't really mean to say players who are a lot better than you are, but players who challenge you.
Absolutely.
You know, who challenge you to be the best you can be, and
Yeah.
and that's what you have there. How did you break into the songwriting circles and find some work there?
I
did
was
that happen?
lucky to come to town with kind of under my producer's wing, and he was kind enough to share a bunch of his writing contacts. Short answer is just through friends.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been very supported in that town, and I've had peers and comrades connect me with people. And I think when, I've gotten connected and shot my shot and put my best foot forward, and luckily I keep getting other rights out of that and stuff like that. So, yeah, simple answer is just through kind people that I know.
Well, you're a good writer, good singer, good arranger, and seems to me that you'd have lots of opportunities there.
Yeah, we're building something, which is a beautiful thing to do.
It's exciting, yeah. I just love hearing where your music has come, even since we saw you just a really short time ago.
I know. What year was that?
I want to say 22.
That sounds right.
I think yeah, like
Yeah.
early 22. Though,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. I know you have a lot of things to say about the details of the music business and some of the challenges that are there. What have you found? What have you found most challenging doing this business? You did it on your own for a time. Then you hired Evan to help sort of take care of some of the minutiae that makes it hard for you to stay focused on your art, and allows somebody else to maybe make the calls, post stuff in the social media. What part do you still play in promoting yourself?
I still play a huge part in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Evan and I, we signed on in this endeavor as a kind of I wouldn't say a total joint venture by any regard, but it was very grassroots from the get-go. We started working together. I think we're about to close in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Wow.
And I think when we started working with each other, we both had very little to tangibly offer.
Yeah.
Like so as a manager, you have to manage someone that's going to bring you something, because you've got to put food on the table. And as a manager, you've got to have connections and knowledge to do your job. And I think at that time we were like, you know what? I don't know if we have either of those things for each other, but let's do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's kind of where we started.
So talk about what you learned from Evan, and Evan, you talk about what you learned from Will.
Oh man.
Oh golly.
Oh man.
Well, I mean,
start off, Evan.
Will kind of mentioned it there, which is we both had individual experiences with projects that it was like, oh, this isn't how it's supposed to go, and how do we build something that is sustainable? And again, I knew Will from the Central Virginia music scene, and we had bumped into each other at shows and stuff like that. And so when he reached out to me in 2019, I was doing something really cool with the project that I was in at the time, but it was also winding down. And I was just kind of looking around for what was going to be the next thing. And I wasn't sure if I'd find it. But Will reached out, and I had listened to his music, and I liked his songwriting. And I think, when I first started out, again, I'm a drummer. I'm attracted to rhythm and, for the most part, like kind of loud, aggressive, groovy rock music. And as I've grown and as I've really known Will, I realized that the stories that he's telling are, first of all, relatable, for me, because I think that the music that managers should be, working with and representing is something that they believe in. Or else they're not going to be giving their whole heart, soul, and spirit, to making sure that their artist or band is reaching the level that they want to get to. But then also, it's like Will and I first started as business partners, and then eventually became friends. And we went through a lot of stuff, over the past 5 years, and have been there for each other in ways that honestly I didn't even really expect. It's kind of funny, my wife says frequently that Will and I are in a second marriage because, I spend almost as much time talking to him as I do to her. But it's a balance. It's a give and take. And, we've definitely been able to be that for each other.
Yeah. Will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to add to that, it's I think he and I have seen that the artist to manager relationship is definitely not codified throughout the industry. There's very unique ways of going about it. And one of y'all's most famous guests, Tyler Childers, I've always heard that he's had a wonderful relationship with his manager. It was kind of grassroots, and I think you and I have taken that approach.
Yeah.
From the get-go, that's more of a peer-to-peer, friend-to-friend, personal relationship, versus like he's out there with his Rolodex, and we talk once a week, and he's like 30, 40 years my senior. So I think going back to your original question of what I've learned from him, and going back to the rhythm of things, I've learned consistency and rhythm and discipline through Evan. And that's, as a manager, it's probably the greatest thing he brings to my life is a stability through discipline. Because like I mentioned in the first part of this interview, this is not a sprint. And I think if you treat music as a sprint, you're going to peter out. And this is all about longevity and doing it very well. Every time you take the stage, write a song, go into a studio, whatever. And I think that he and I have kind of found a way to keep doing that and not let it be too much of a burden. Because I think sometimes when you think about the weight of pushing all this forward by yourselves, it can be pretty massive.
Yeah.
I think we've figured out how to do that.
And so what can be the pitfalls for folks who are listening, and they're thinking of maybe a friend who might be able to be their manager? What are maybe some of the pitfalls there, and how have you guys avoided that?
Evan, you got anything off the top of your head?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of hey, I'm an island. It's like, I've got there's a team around me, or at least, again, this is my perspective of what I feel like an artist thinks about is like, I'm the one making the art, and they're just the ones selling it. And obviously Will and I have a unique relationship in the fact that I'm in his band as well. And so, it's I think the biggest thing that I've continued to learn is kind of like how to die to myself. And because I'm wearing so many hats, one of the things that I told him from the start was the second that I get in the way creatively from what you want to do, I'm sitting behind the kit here. If you need to remove me from that situation, you need to do it. And you have my complete, support in doing that. Because I know that, we as humans probably operate the best when we're focused on one thing. And right now I've got, a million hats that I'm wearing. And so ultimately my one thing that I want is for him to have a successful career, however that looks. Whether that means I'm behind the kit or I'm booking shows or I'm getting sponsorships or whatever. So, that's the thing that I need to do for him first and foremost.
All right.
Yeah, and I think that man, I had a really beautiful point to add to that, but it's gone now. Shoot, hey manager, what was I gonna say? Shoot, no. It's completely gone. But you answered that so.
Well, that's all right.
eloquently.
He did do a nice
I don't
job
know if
with
I
that.
could top that answer.
No, that
so.
was a nice answer to that. I appreciate you talking about that. Our guest this evening on Red Barn Radio is Will Overman. He's here with his band, Ryan Lee on bass, Curry Winborn from the Pacific Northwest playing the keyboards, and Evan Hunsberger, who was just speaking to us, who is back there on the drum kit. Let's get back to some more music with Will Overman. What's Bad Apartment about? What's your next song about, Will? Bad Apartment. That isn't about your dad's place.
No,
Okay,
no.
good. All right.
My dad's got a pretty sweet spot. Bad Apartment I wrote when I was in college in Charlottesville. Go Who's. And I lived in this apartment that it was a wonderful spot, and I have so many great memories of it, but it was a very quirky place with a very, very quirky next door neighbor. And it was a duplex, and we were up top, and this guy was on the bottom, and it was just one of those places that had all types of quirks to it. And I was in college, and I was in love, and I was making music, and I didn't really care at the time. So the song is about that very specific time in your life, in your early 20s, and you're living in a weird spot, and you can smell the cigarette from the neighbor next door, and they've got their windows blacked out with trash bags, and you only see them once every month with a giant Tupperware full of recyclables, which happen to all be Budweiser. Your landlord comes up at 9 p.m. at night. So it's that time in your life, but it's a beautiful time, and everything is ahead of you. And so this is what Bad Apartment is.
All right, Will Overman.
And I think we complained about the rent of all the place we haven't stopped talking about since. There ain't a day that goes by, no bound to me said I wouldn't sign for a moment in that yellow kitchen with you. You believe we complained about the drive to the bars, but we were never going out that night. Buck naked and a bottle of wine, warmed by the fire, eating cold fried rice. Rain or snow, we were shaking all the time. An apartment on a back street in a small town. Tread lightly, love quietly, don't you make a sound. Because a man downstairs smoking cigarettes left the landlord knocking fire. A bad apartment, better times. got the call that was leaving when I stumbled in. 3 words turning one, a bed becomes a couch when the whiskey has won. I love you and I'm sorry meant the same. An apartment on a back street in a small town. Tread lightly and love quietly, don't make a sound. Because a man downstairs smoking cigarettes left the landlord knocking her foul. Bad apartment, better times. And I had a dream where I couldn't find you, learning to live without lying right next to you. And oh, there ain't a day that goes by nobody least that I would sign for a moment in that yellow kitchen with you. For a moment in that yellow kitchen with you.
Thank you guys. Thank y'all. Gonna play another new one for you guys. This might be my current favorite song to play live right now. Yeah, Curry gets it. Curry gets it. Curry doesn't have a microphone, you guys, but he's a great dude. He's a great dude from the state of Washington.
How many times have we made that joke now?
We're gonna keep making it. I wrote this song with a buddy of mine named Caleb Jones out of Nashville. And he and I are both big fans of the ocean, big fans of the natural world. And I'm from Virginia Beach. I got to grow up in the ocean, surfing, swimming. And I miss it a great deal in Nashville because, shockingly, Nashville is nowhere near the ocean. And my heart and soul miss it a lot. So the song's in part about that. They are building an indoor wave pool. And that's almost the same thing as the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. Yep. The Cumberland River is pretty much the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. They do. Yep. It's beautiful. The boardwalks. The song's called Landlocked Heart. Hope y'all enjoy it.
One, two, three, four. He lived out of a bag. We were reading my epitaph. 10 years on the road. Not much to show, but a show. Late nights in the van. And I don't know where I am. Loading in and loading out. I never get to see the town, but I'm flying. And oh, I can't have a landlocked heart. And I've been that way right from the start. I was born to leave all those around me. I got so many friends, they don't know me. I need a real salt to my face, taste the wind when I pray. I leave more on shore every time I depart. But I can't have a land landlocked heart. Yeah. Is this an anchor or a sail? Am I just chasing fairy tales? Cause I'm 4 weeks in, my phone is dead. I'm homesick and I'm sick of this. I drove 20 hours round trip for an hour-long hit. And no, I can't have a landlocked heart. And I've been that way right from the start. I was born to lead all those around me. I got so many friends, they don't know me. I need to feel salt to my face, taste the wind. I lean more unsure every time I depart, but I can't have a landlocked heart. A landlocked heart. A landlocked heart. Have a landlocked heart, and I've been that way right from the start. I was born to lead all those around me. I got so many friends, but they don't know me. I need to feel salt to my face, taste the wind when I pray. I lean more unsure every time I depart, but I can't have a landlocked heart.
Great song.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank
Will
y'all.
Overman. Well, there are many people to thank for our broadcast. First, Will Overman and the great band he brought with us. We want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on social media, and those listening to us on our growing network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, Central and Eastern Kentucky's radio news leader. You can listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. That's NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and future programs. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. Now, before we close out tonight's program, let's bring back Will Overman. Woo!
Red Barn, thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. Wherever you are, I appreciate you. And while I'm tuning up here, I just want to introduce y'all one more time to this fantastic band. Couldn't do what I do without them. On the keys is quickly becoming a good friend because we have the same weird sense of humor. He drives a Subaru, he's from the state of Washington, and he rips on the piano. Curry Winborn on the keys. Thank y'all, thank y'all. To my left here, we've made a lot of music together over the years. I've shared many miles and many hotel beds with this guy over here on stage left. He's one of the best musicians I know. He's a great human being. From Charlottesville, Virginia, on the bass is Ryan Lee. And last but not least, you've already met him. He's already said some sage wisdom. But he is my manager, currently my booking agent. He's got a new hat that I really dig. He keeps me in line, and he's one of the best people I know.
On the drums from Harrisonburg, Virginia, Evan Hunsberger. This song is a brand new single. It's been out a couple months, and it is about my home state of Virginia. It's called Virginia's for Lovers. Said I loved you by the James. Still can't afford Georgetown. Thought you loved me just the same. And I know ain't nothing's perfect, but it wasn't worth the fight. Virginia is for lovers, but I hate it tonight. Are going by. We wonder where they're going with all our precious time. And now you're haunting the bars of my mid-20 nights. A little too drunk in a stupid little fight. We made out in the corner, but we didn't make it out alive. Virginia is for lovers, but I hate it tonight. Virginia is for lovers, but I hate it tonight. I sing a Shenandoah with the dogwoods flying fast, and I get sad passing Bristol, watching the Blue Ridge going flat. It's still hot as hell in Nashville. It's cool out on the coast. I thought Tennessee is where I'd want to be, but instead I just write songs about coming home. They say Virginia is for lovers, but I hate it tonight. Virginia is for lovers, but I hate it tonight. Tried starting over, but I couldn't leave you behind. We said Virginia was forever, but now we're saying goodbye. We said Virginia was forever, but now it's just an exit sign. It says Virginia is for lovers, but I hate it tonight. Virginia is for lovers, oh, but I hate it tonight. Virginia is for lovers, but I hate it tonight. Virginia is for lovers, oh, but I hate it tonight. Yeah, I hate it tonight. Red Barn, thank you guys so much for having us tonight. Appreciate you.
Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. And it's always great to hear from all of you who listen to Red Barn Radio's archive performances on your favorite streaming platforms. And speaking of you listeners, please, we like it when you like us. We love it when you engage with us. Your comments, your sharing will keep us growing and continuing our mission to bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods and beyond. And now we bid you good night. Let's stick together, let's appreciate each other, and let's join up again next week for another great evening of music and conversation on Red Barn Radio. I'm Bradford Becker. See you next time.